I am Danny Otto. Welcome into another episode of That Recap Show. Now, before we get into the episode, just want to issue major Groot level spoiler alerts. We are going to be going over everything that happened in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you may want to pause this video, head over to Disney Plus, check out that special, and get ready for the holiday season, and then come back and enjoy the breakdown. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
Joining with me to break down everything from the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, it's Jon Rico.
Seasons, greetings, everybody. What's going on?
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Rico.
Hey, same to you, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, I mean, we're wearing our Christmas sweaters. We've both got Christmas decorations behind us. This is the perfect special to get us into the holiday season mood. And I mean, we're very close to Christmas at this point, but I mean, we were talking about this before we recorded. I mean, we were talking about this, when the special actually aired finally. This is definitely a special that I think both of us have added to our list to watch every year moving forward type of thing. Like it was on that level of holiday special.
Yeah, absolutely. I've watched it a few times already within just the few weeks it's been out. So
yeah, absolutely. I 100% recommend it. I mean, just kind of looking at it as you kind of analyzing, I guess, as a holiday special. I mean, it has all of the classic elements that you kind of want in a holiday special. I mean, it's got at the very underlining, after all of the jokes and after like the awesome, James Gunn infused soundtrack and stuff like that. You also have like this, heartwarming kind of holiday story that Quill's friends / intergalactic family just kind of wants to help him cheer up around the holidays and help him celebrate a holiday that he really hasn't had the opportunity to celebrate because he's kind of been down in the dumps after the events of Infinity War and Endgame type of thing. And I mean, I thought it's perfect, and I kind of glossed over it, but we even had a couple of live performances during the special. Mm-hmm. The first of which kind of kicks everything off, and we get a performance from the old 97s. We get a Christmas song. The singer basically goes up to Quill and says, "Hey, I would really like to run this by you and make sure like my facts are right. Like I need you to fact check this because I don't know anything about Christmas, and everything that I heard about Christmas I got from Cosmo and Rocket, and everything they heard about Christmas they got from someone else, and that they got that from you. So yeah. I just figured I'd go back to the source, and it's this incredible song and performance that has been stuck in both of our heads. I mean, we've been going back and forth with the lyrics.
I don't know what Christmas is, but Christmas time is here. I really love this special actually. So this thing does a lot of things really well. Which one, it just brings back that classic James Gunn Guardians vibe. Which he knows his characters left and right. So of course he knows exactly how to write a great story with any of the characters involved. In this case, it happens to be Drax and Mantis, particularly in the forefront in this one. But yeah, everything from like the cultural references, like you said, like I really liked how they threw in the "I Wish It Was Christmas Today" song that we always see Horatio Sands and all them do on SNL. I thought that was a really cool take on doing that, and just kind of the way they forwarded the Guardian story. Kind of had this cool like hijink storyline between two of the characters. But also at the end of the day, there was also like this heartwarming story that you kind of there's a cool little story twist that came at the end that you kind of didn't see coming, and it actually kind of brings the character arc almost a little bit full circle. And it's all involving Yondu. Of course, I really love the way they incorporated the animation style into it, kind of a nod to the old Star Wars animation from the holiday special there. So I thought that was really cool. It's kind of like a throwback nod to that kind of stuff, and the way they incorporated Yondu into the story that way, I thought was really amazing. Because you can't have a James Gunn project without Michael Rooker.
Right.
So to hear his voice again as Yondu is really cool. It makes me wonder if he's going to come back in some form in Guardians 3 and like a flashback or who knows. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the special.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I am just like you, I am wondering if we're gonna see something involving Yondu or a flashback involving Yondu in Guardians 3. Because I mean, I really do feel like, this isn't just a special for the sake of a special. I do think there were a lot of breadcrumbs in here. And we'll get more onto that in predictions and stuff like that. But you wanna talk about some big takeaways?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna kick us off with this. There was so much stuff to kind of choose from in big takeaways. So I'm gonna just kind of talk about kind of the ones that I thought for me I really really enjoyed. But I know there's so many we could go over. We could basically talk about this for hours with all the Easter eggs and just stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. But for me, I just want to point out some of the stuff I really like. And just like you were talking about, this story primarily is a Drax and Mantis story, which is great because Mantis has been around since Guardians 2, and we really haven't had too many scenes of really just her. So I feel like this really did show a little bit more of her and her personality and stuff like that, which is cool. Some of my favorite stuff is, just when we have them first getting to Earth and just like the little tiny jokes there, like, not cloaking the ship. So people are freaking out. But one of my favorite things is when they're walking down the by the Chinese theater and the walk of fame and stuff like that. And they're seeing all the character actors. And so, of course, there's going to be Avengers actors and people to take pictures and stuff like that, which is very odd to me because, they're real life superheroes in the Marvel universe. They're not just actors superheroes. So I don't know. It's very strange. Anyway, we can go super meta at any point in this, and it's very confusing because they make references to some DC properties also, which is very confusing. But my favorite, I think, of all of that is when one for Mantis and one for Drax is when Mantis goes running up to somebody who's dressed as Captain America and goes, Steve, and she like jumps at him and he just basically freaks out and runs away and stuff. And I was expecting Drax to be like, he must have realized how hideous you were. Because you remember how Drax, like, that was the kind of the running thing from Guardians 2. So I really thought he was going to say that. He didn't. But my favorite Drax moment or / moments is when he sees the GoBot for the first time.
I'm sorry, GoBot's killing his cousin.
And so I guess there's a GoBot species out there somewhere.
So not only that, GoBots are real, but also, so then we go into a photo montage where they start taking pictures with just people walking around and getting paid for it, and Mantis figures that out, and she starts trying to make money and getting as many pictures as possible. But during that montage, it pans over. And Drax is beating up the GoBot guy.
Yeah.
Guys.
First of all, he's got like super strength, doesn't he? So those punches on that normal dude are like, he's killing a dude. Drax is killing a guy. He's gonna lay low for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he's a real GoBot. Of course, he's not gonna pull his punches. But so that is my I think all-time probably favorite kind of scene for both of them on screen. I think it's just, it lays the perfect punches, I guess. But it's the perfect
punches landed.
Yes, the punches and comedy landed there perfectly for me. But I wanted to do this in honor of the holidays. Instead of boom big reveal, it's boom holiday reveal. We get a special reveal, just like you were talking about, where we find out what Mantis's motives are for wanting to really cheer up Quill around the holidays. And we find out that Mantis now knows that she is the sister of Peter Quill. basically through Ego. Like, I mean, she is Ego's daughter, just like Peter is Ego's son. So they are related. And she basically, is very, she's an empathetic character in general, but now that she knows like they are family, she really wants to make sure that Peter is able to cheer up and is in better spirits and stuff like that. So we kind of have, just like you said, we have this underlying really heartwarming story of she's kind of struggling with the, should I tell him? I'm worried that, I'm going to remind him of Ego, who, murdered his family basically. And she's kind of struggling with that, but we're seeing, her kind of pushing those feelings down and just trying to do what's best for Peter in general. And it really has like that resolve that you want a holiday movie to have, that heartwarming resolve, that heart that is in all of the holiday classic movies and stuff like that by the end, with, the resolve where they find out that they are family and stuff like that. And I just think that was a perfect, real canon thing to have in there, and to also make it a very underlying heartwarming holiday story with all the jokes and stuff like that. So for me, those were the two biggest takeaways. Rico, what were some of your big takeaways from the holiday special?
Yeah, I would to kind of touch on more on the Mantis and Peter thing, because I think she was talking about it was a secret that she'd been harboring pretty much the entire time she's known him, because she had to have known, of course, that she was one of Ego's children. But the fact that Peter had gone through so much in the time that they met, from losing their father to losing Gamora not once but twice, essentially, and now like just kind of seeing how that's all affecting him on Nowhere, and just seeing like when you see him in the beginning, he's just kind of like a dude who's just down, going through the motions, like he's just signing off on paperwork, going through whatever, and that's where her you get her empath powers are kind of, I guess, going through. Now she feels like this is the time where I can kind of unveil that secret to him, and I thought that was really a really nice um kind of like way to kick off the story. Like that was your motive, right? And
Right.
then the way it pays off at the end was really touching, of course, when he comes out and sees all the lights. I thought that was really well done. But yeah, more on Drax and Mantis's on-screen chemistry in general. Like, of course, these are the two that kind of got close with each other in the first place. Like, she was the first one she got close with on the team. Just kind of based off of their personalities alone. They're kind of two out there personalities who don't really think the same way other people do. They're basically like children. So
That's a good way.
yeah, so like it's this whole like special is, the two children get to go out on their own and do something nice for like mom and dad, someone, but since they're their big brother. Uh yeah, I really like the way those two characters really work off each other. They're super funny, of course. Like, you got one kind of treating each other like the oldest. It's like when you watch like a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, like the way they kind of like the 7-year-old looking after the 4-year-old, the 7-year-old being Mantis, of course, in this case. She's like, no, Drax, like that's why, why do you think you lost your funny elf man? Because you didn't look after him. That's why I still have my candy cane. Like that's like that's that children talking to each other right there. So I thought that was like a really hilarious way to kind of write these characters in the special. And then incorporating Kevin Bacon into it, which is just like he gets to play himself, but also like have fun with it at the same time.
Right.
And of course, using that whole Peter using him as their motivation as what a hero is just kind of bring again another great way of tying everything together within the whole Guardian storyline. And it's a great way to get like Kevin on board later on in the story when they have the whole deal with him freaking out on Nowhere and they got to bring him back. And Kraglin does a great job of giving him the pep talk. And he's another character I think is really fun on this team that I think in Guardians 3 I'm excited to see more of his character as like taking over what he's basically Yondu's role as like a leader. And so yeah, I want to see him kind of get those Yondu arrow powers in order, so see if he can get control of that, because he's still struggling with it, and that sucks. But man, there's so much more to love in this special. Another thing we got was Cosmo's introduction, basically as what like I'm assuming like kind of a main leader on Nowhere, not necessarily a member of the Guardians yet. But with telekinesis powers, that you can't not use Cosmo to their fullest potential. And I was really excited to get more of that character in this one, especially the dynamic between her and Rocket. And this was really funny. especially because it was teased so much in the first one. And then I only have one question: is how the hell did Nebula get Bucky's arm to give to Rocket at the end? I have so many questions about this. From did she just make a knockoff one to maybe when they were on Earth, her and Bucky got down, he had a spare arm and you just gave it to her like, yo, can I take this arm? Just stole it from him. But yeah, that's such a she has some of the funniest moments in the entire special for me. Like at the end when she just says, "Wow, I guess not all actors are all pieces of shit," and I died laughing. Like I was like, "Oh my god!" Like Nebula is like they just gave her the throwaway line, and then her angry dancing and stuff like that was like, oh
I
my
like
god, she
that.
was top notch.
Yeah, and when Kevin Bacon first starts freaking out when he gets open in the present, she goes, "You can't run from me, Bacon."
Yeah, you can't outrun me, Bacon. Yeah, it's so good. Karen Gillan, amazing. She's just
Perfect.
absolutely nailing this role from top to bottom. But yeah, there's again, like you always say, we can go on and on just listing off things we love about this. But there was just literally a lot to love about this special.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. One other thing that I had to point out, I had to make sure, and I completely forgot to when I was talking about my big takeaways. This was easily big takeaway number 3 for me. Is I don't know where Drax got this holiday sweater, but I need it. If anyone can find this holiday sweater, I'm not even asking somebody to buy it for me. I'm just saying, send me a link.
Yeah, drop the links.
I am 110% buying it for next year. You will probably see me wearing it in the summer, in like half Christmas or something like that. I'll flash it up on screen again. It is a holiday sweater with a cat shooting laser beams out of its eyes. It is 100% up my alley. I need this. I cannot wait to find it. I am 100% going to find it. If you comment a link and show me where this is, we will give you a shout out, multiple videos. I don't even care. I'll throw out a ton of promises.
As Dr. Eva would say, it's a freaking cat with a freaking Santa Claus hat shooting freaking laser beams out of his eyes.
It's perfect. I love it. That's easily my third biggest my third big takeaway. But Rico, you want to get into some holiday predictions?
Let's go.
Awesome. All right. Why don't you kick us off with predictions?
So we learned in the special basically that the Guardians bought Nowhere off of the Collector. So that kind of revealed a couple things to me. One, the Collector's alive still, because who knows what happened to him after Thanos and all of that. But also apparently the Guardians are just raking out cash, doing all these jobs to buy up a whole Celestial head. But I imagine nobody wants it now because it's the Collector's collection got destroyed in the first one, I think. So who knows what happened to all that stuff? And I imagine he's got plenty of collections in other places.
I don't know if it got destroyed so much in the first one, but it definitely got completely destroyed in the second one.
Exactly.
Or I mean, not in the second one, in Infinity War.
Well, not only that, in Infinity War, the whole point of Nowhere was all the stuff they were mining off of the Celestial, and that was destroyed probably by Thanos as well. So I think it's kind of cool that it seems like Nowhere has kind of become like a fixer-upper essentially for the Guardians to now kind of take over as their headquarters, which is really cool. I think that kind of fits them to be kind of there at the end of the day. It kind of allows for the team to maybe expand a little bit more, and maybe even more like these Guardian offshoots, and kind of it could be a cool little hub for the cosmic MCU characters kind of intermingling together in the future. So I think that could be a really cool aspect of it. But also, will we see the Collector ever again? Will we see maybe some more of his other collections? Because he's got to have more stuff. There's no way that one on Nowhere was his only little museum there. He's got to have a bunch of stuff in other places. And I feel like he's a real powerful character you could still use in the future. Maybe him and the Grandmaster are hanging out somewhere because they are brothers.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, maybe they're cooking up some kind of scheme, or maybe, you know what? Maybe they're still on Sakaar. Maybe the Collector went over and bailed out his brother.
Yeah, maybe he has a museum there.
Yeah, and maybe they kind of, claimed power again in the vacuum of, of Hulk not being there anymore. Because we don't know what the exchange was at Sakaar when Bruce went back during She-Hulk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
could have been, you know,
Yeah, Scar could have been in the collection for all we know.
yeah.
He
Anything's
had to go get him
possible.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what, like, I mean, we keep saying it, but that is
Mm.
what is so cool about this special. I mean, there's so many breadcrumbs in it that,
Yeah.
you know, some of I'm sure some of them, you know, were just in there for the special and aren't really ever going to pay off. But others, yeah, I mean, there's so many questions that and little things in there that, you know, we would hope that, you know, some of them will. Like, I mean, I think for me at least, the biggest is I really think um that some of these elements are going to have, you know, bearing on Guardians 3 and stuff like that. And what I really think is that the relationship with Mantis and Quill is now going to be a lot stronger in Guardians 3 than we've had in the past. Because just like you were saying, it's really been kind of Mantis and Drax have kind of been like that friend group. Because they have the kind of that very similar playful mentality and kind of, you know, they're off on their own. They have their own conversations, they have their own stuff, they do their own thing. But I think now that, you know, Mantis and Quill are family, I could see that bond being a lot stronger and them kind of growing a lot closer together and more, you know, in the forefront. I think in Guardians 3, I could see that relationship kind of being, you know, bigger and more obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that was the biggest thing for me. I was just looking kind of at other things that would kind of pan out, I guess, further into Guardians 3. But I mean, the only other one that I could really think of is that I mean, maybe Kevin Bacon's going to want to start doing some space films and stuff like that based off of his intergalactic travels now. Because I gotta imagine, you know, even with like the Earth really knowing about aliens and knowing about all this craziness and stuff like that, there aren't that many humans that the average human's not like jumping on a spaceship and heading out.
No.
So now that we have a famous celebrity on Earth that has now gone and performed and done stuff on Nowhere and I mean across the galaxy basically, and then come back, I could see him kind of, you know, making that more of a not common thing, but more of a thing that celebrities now try to reach, that status level type of thing, that like, you know, it's not a fancy car, it's a fancy experience now. So
Yeah.
maybe that kind of turns into something where like, you know, celebrities want to go to Nowhere and they want to, you know, experience like intergalactic travel and stuff like that. And so maybe that becomes a more thing that we see like some celebrities doing in other movies and bigger MCU things. I could see I could see that. I think that would be pretty interesting.
Hey, we'll see him at Easter.
Yeah. I mean, there was a big thing going around going, hey, does that mean we're getting a Guardians Easter special?
I know everyone immediately starts to go.
I am
Well, even
all
the post credit scene with Rock and then he's go. I guess we got to do another one.
yeah. I hope that was James Gunn putting that in there, going, well, I mean, I may be working for DC, but I could be contracted
who knows?
to do it.
Or someone else is gonna do it, but it's either way. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome if we just get a holiday special.
You know, with a different assortment of characters, because now we're gonna get Warlock thrown into the fold. I'm sure we're gonna have more cosmic characters that are gonna be intermingling with them. We need to get Nova in there sometime.
That's going to be another special presentation. The rumor is that that's going to be a special presentation, so I could easily see some of the Guardians showing up in that and Adam Warlock and stuff like that. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The sky's the limit, and I mean overall, we've talked about this plenty off air and stuff like that. Holiday special, 100% across the board on this one. I didn't know going into it what to expect. Whether it was going to be super jokey, whether it was going to be, you know, a really good holiday special, or if it was just going to be like a 10-minute thing, kind of like the Groot shorts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like we didn't really know exactly what this was going to be and how involved it was. And what we got was just, I mean, movie level, number one, because we're working with Disney and Marvel, but the story just made it perfect. And I 100% co-sign and recommend, if you like holiday specials and you really want to get into the holiday spirit and get into that mood, definitely try watching this. Even if you're not the biggest Guardians fan, it's just a great holiday special to kind of add to that to your rotation, I guess, of holiday specials around this time of year.
Yeah, they're 2 for 2 on these special presentations now because then we've yet to do our recap on it.
Yeah.
But with Halloween, you have a rotation one like that with Werewolf by Night, which again totally fit the tone, told a great story, had the Marvel feel, and then you have the same thing with this one. I kind of like these like 45, 50-minute storytelling with movie level characters. That are just kind of like these one-offs. Like kind of like it's like when you're reading comics, you have what are called one shots, where just like these kind of supersized issues, as opposed to like they're not 25 pages, they're like 40, 45 pages of a bigger story, all contained within one issue, and that's exactly what these feel like, and they're really well done. And I'm having a lot of fun with them. I hope they're not always holiday oriented. Like, hope we just start like you're just bringing us one-offs for the sake of giving us one-offs. Like, I want some of that too. But if you can give me one for other holidays as well, like I'm all for it.
I heard a rumor. I think you're going to get your wish. I think it's very, very soon we're gonna figure this out. But I heard a rumor we could potentially get a Silver Surfer special feature, like special presentation. And not only that, the rumor is that Nova is going to be a special presentation also. So
that would be great.
Yeah,
I think do that.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get your wish, but I would love to see a Guardians Easter special or some other Guardians special. I think would be great around another holiday and stuff like that. I just think would be hilarious. But I am 100% with you. I think they're 2 for 2 on special presentations, special features. I think it's great. And the fact that they have that level of money to make the production, not only like having it up to that standard, but having the production level up to that standard. So it's not just like, this is a made for TV one. This is a real movie one. There's no difference. I mean, everything is done well in this type of thing across the board. So yeah. And as always, as we always say, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments below. Have you checked out this holiday special? And if not, what are you waiting for? It is the holiday season. We've got Christmas around the corner. You have time to watch it now. I totally recommend go head over to Disney Plus and check this out. And let us know, what was your favorite part from this? And will you be adding it to your yearly list of specials that you kind of watch every year, just like us? And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.